Those of you joining us around the world, welcome to Misano, the PATA European Junior Cup, and we're here at the beautiful Misano World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli, the 4.226 meter circuit on the Adriatic coast. We are, of course, at the World Superbike event, sponsored here at the Riviera di Rimini round by PATA. And who else could we have as a guest commentator this weekend than PATA Honda's Supersport racer Kyle Smith. Kyle, welcome back to the box.
Yeah, it's second time for me commentating, so if we can have a little bit of fun up here.
Well, we certainly had some fun at Imola. We remember all of the chaos that happened on the opening lap there. We hope that we'll be seeing no red flags today. But here we go then. Let's have a look at the grid. These are live pictures coming to you from a very sunny Misano circuit. And there is our pole sitter, the championship leader, the champion-elect, Javier Orellana for the Europe Foods team, and a position inside the top 5, depending on what else happens during the race, could give Orellana the championship. The runner-up of 2014 has one hand on the title. Spoke to him in the paddock over the weekend, and he said he's going to treat this as any other race. Umbrellas then are starting to come down as we take a look at the Italian. The first of several Italian riders in the top 6 here at home is Matteo Cipretti, his best qualifying position on the CBR 650, riding, of course, for the Cipretti Racing Honda team, and he is on the front row of the grid. He'll be joined on the front row by number 58, and there is Sid, the little character that Emanuele Puchedu carries with him everywhere. Sid goes to get a good vantage point for this one, and Emanuele Puchedu, we are delighted to say, back in the saddle after that horrendous crash at the Craner Curves at Donington Park a few races ago. But Emanuele back on the grid and back on form. We're going to talk a little bit during the race to Kyle Smith, and of course for those of you that have not seen the World Supersport race as yet, we won't give you the result, but we can say that unfortunately, Kyle, you didn't manage to finish, but through no fault of your own. We'll talk obviously about that in a while, but predictions maybe ahead of this one?
Well, I don't know.
Could be anybody's, couldn't it?
It could be anybody. I think Oriana's he's been really strong all season, and he's on the pole again, so you'd have to put your money on him. But it's a tight category this year. Anything can happen.
Anything can indeed. We're seeing the grid then coming through on the screen. I'll give a couple of shout-outs first to a couple of our birthday boys. We have Doran Loureiro, and also we have Giuseppe de Gruttola, both of the riders celebrating a birthday today. So happy birthday to Doran. Tanti auguri to Giuseppe de Gruttola. Happy birthday to you. And both of those riders will be hoping for a great result. And also a very happy birthday to Constantina Karakostas, the mother of Dimitris and Nikos, both riding in the race. Dimitris qualifying in 22nd and Nikos in 25th, so a good showing by the Greek riders. We know we have a lot of Greek followers, of course, watching the European Junior Cup in a variety of ways, but a very, very happy birthday to Mrs. Karakostas, and we wish, of course, Dimitris and Nikos good fortune in this race. The number 3 rider going through the screen on the warm-up lap is Sam Wilford, and Sam, one of several fallers in qualifying yesterday, but Sam Wilford will start 7th. And while the riders are just on the warm-up lap, let's give you a quick rundown then of the grid for those of you that didn't catch that. So front row of the grid, as I said, champion-elect Javier Orellana will line up alongside Matteo Cipretti and Emanuele Puchedu. Row 2 is birthday boy Gruttola alongside Guillaume Raymond, the French rider, and Mika Perez. Perez, the young Spaniard, has been on pole position this season and will be looking for a change of fortune, non-scoring in the last couple of races. Row 3 is headed by Britain's Sam Wilford, the IDWE racing team. Dad Ian celebrating a birthday not too long ago, and again Jody on track this weekend as well, so good to see Jody back after an illness earlier in the season. Alfonso Coppola is in 8th. Alongside him will be the second of the French riders, Dorian Leville, qualifies 9th on row 3. Hannes Sumo was on the podium early in the season, hasn't quite managed to repeat that over the last few races, but he starts 10th. Josh Harland, who was in commentary at the last round, will be 11th on the grid alongside Paulo Gracia, who had a huge crash crash into turn 11 at the end of the back straight yesterday, but he is okay. Row 5 is headed by Stefan Hill, Doran Loureiro in 14th, and the youngest rider on the grid, Troy Bezuidenhout, another rider that fell yesterday while going very well indeed. You can just see him on the screen there with the blue and yellow helmet into the blue diving, and they are on row number 5. Harun Chabuk is in 16th, Van Sickle was 17th, Thomas Cassano in 18th. Row 7 is headed by Avalon Biddle, the leading of our lady competitors. Temba Kamalo is 20th, Ricardo Puccetti in 21st. Caracostas, Kiss, Drayton, Caracostas the junior, and Rodriguez and Anastasia Kovalenko complete the 27-strong grid. As I said then, European Junior Cup, riders from 14 to 21 if you're a male competitor, 14 to 23 if you're a female competitor. 10 laps ahead of us then, the 4.2-mile Misano World Circuit. Marco Simoncelli, watch for the lights. And we're away. A front wheel comes up by Orellana, but it was a great start from the champion-elect. We go down the start and finish straight in towards turn 1. Wilford has made a fantastic start. Now, this is where we saw a little bit of carnage yesterday, and there's a big lunge from a little bit further back. Thankfully, I think we're all through safely. Are we? Yes, we are indeed. But it is Orellana at the front. Sam Wilford's made a great start, and Kyle, thankfully, no one on the deck.
Yeah, I think it's it's a bit of a tight corner, the first one, so it's good to see everybody through there nice and clean. And this section as well, it's really tight, and then the second part of the track opens up a little bit. So as long as everybody gets through this first little section clean, it's all good.
Is indeed. Dan Gruttler is up into second, Puccetti in third, Wilford fourth, Geppetto in fifth, and we see there's a lunge from Raymond, Mika Perez, and they go 4 abreast. Now this is where we did see a couple of accidents early on, but Perez goes through on the inside of Raymond, so Perez is up a spot. Perez moves up into P6, but at the front, he's doing what he said he wanted to do. He wanted to break away at the front. It's Javier Orellana already on our screens with a 0.3 of a second advantage over birthday boy Giuseppe de Gruttler, currently in second position. A few of the riders going wide, and we now move out then onto the back straight. So then here we go in the championship. 50 points is the advantage with 75 up for grabs. So realistically, if Orellana wins the race, he is the champion. He goes through the very fast sector, and Kyle, this part of the track very, very fast, but it's decreasing radius corners, and you can very, very easily make a mistake here.
Yeah, like I said, the first half of the track is a little bit slow, a little bit tight. The second half is really fast. And there's been a couple of riders crashed in that section over the weekend. And I know my teammate Michael van der Maat crashed, and it was clocked at 263 kilometres an hour his crash. So it's it's a very fast section of the track.
Well, there we go then, on to complete the first lap, and Orellana's going to have to be careful of that. He was over the curb, and if you run onto that red painted area, that is classed as exceeding the track limits. You get 2 or 3 warnings, so Orellana needs to be careful. These guys pushing on. Oh, and Sam Wilford there just sat up as Coppola goes through. Alfonso Coppola and Wilford straight back underneath him. Guillaume Raymond there on screen, currently in 5th. But Orellana needs to be careful. And Kyle, how difficult is it when you're in a race like this and you have that painted area just to run over the curb? You're not doing it intentionally, you're just carrying the momentum.
Yeah, and especially now this year is a little bit more difficult. Last year we painted green, and you could differentiate more the chevrons from the actual outside of the curb. And now they've painted it red, so sometimes you can't see it too good. And I know a lot of times being cancelled over the weekend. So hopefully they can keep it in the track.
Absolutely, and keeping it in the track, but getting it all squirrely there was indeed de Gruttler, and the birthday boy makes a lunge, takes the lead. Orellana's trying to resist, and they're still 2 abreast, and here we go. De Gruttler for Italy takes the lead. The SK and Itsubomoto team is at the front. Puccetti, his teammate, is in 3rd position. Orellana responds straight away as we go down the back straight, and I guess, Carl, as well, not really that Orellana's got a faster bike, but just, and that is brave through there. It's just these bikes very, very even, and the slipstream makes a big difference.
Yeah, the slipstream, especially the smaller engine bikes, makes such a big difference to slipstream, and like that back straight is pretty long straight. And, you have to really work that slipstream good to make the difference.
Here we come then through to complete the second of 10 laps. Glad to say so far that everybody on 2 wheels. The leading lady competitor in the FIM Europe Lady Cup or Women's Cup is Avalon Biddle, currently in 17th position, right on the back of Doran Loureiro, riding under the Portuguese flag, and of course Troy Bezuidenhout as well. They're locked in a titanic fight. Just behind, I can report, the Turkish rider Harun Chabuk, which means swift, so very swift indeed is Chabuk. He's in 14th, And great celebrations for Turkey, of course, yesterday with Toprak Razgatlioglu claiming the Superstock title in great style on the podium. And we should expect to see young Toprak moving up to the Stock 1000 Championship for the last 2 rounds. But more of that from Steve Day and Greg Haynes when we get to Jerez. The action is intense, and we're seeing a change of position there as Puchedu is in a great fight with Cipretti, of course. Cipretti started on the front row of the grid, and Cipretti on the last lap, a 1:47.453 is a new lap record here for the 650 CBR machines at Misano, and Cipretti is on the move. Looking a little bit further back, Josh Harland, who was in commentary at the last round, currently in P10. But Kyle, while we have a little bit of time as we see Mika Perez taking a look.
He's trying.
Yeah, he's trying hard. What happened to you in the Supersport race? He didn't even make the start.
Yeah, I don't know exactly the problem. I think the gasket on the clutch casing was pinched as they looked at the clutch before the race just to check it were all right. As they put it back together, they just pinched the gasket, and I just leaked oil all over the belly pan, and my foot slipped off the peg, and I looked down thinking, what the hell is that? And it was just all shiny of oil. So I pulled off the track, and I couldn't start the race. Just a complete bummer of a weekend, but I have to just regroup in the next one.
Absolutely, and of course the next one for you takes you overseas to Sepang, so I guess it's hot and humid here, but I'm not sure you're prepared for the humidity that might face you over in Sepang.
Yeah, I just have to train hard back home. I've got 5 weeks there until Sepang got a little bit of a break. So just have to train hard and get prepared for it.
Absolutely. So here we go then. A look then at the championship standing. So if we were to put out the flag now, Orellana would be the champion. He would have 141 points to Guillaume Raymond's 75. Raymond would move up to second in the championship, but that would put the championship out of reach. So at the moment, Orellana is doing all he needs to do to become the champion. He was 15 points away from the winning the championship in 2014, and there is every possibility that the young Spaniard will do what his compatriot Augusto Fernandez did last year and take home the crown to Spain, but to Mallorca, of course, where he hails from. So Orellana then still in command, 0.2 of a second ahead of de Grutela. Right behind him is Emanuele Puchedu. We're getting notification on the screen there that number 26 has fallen, and that unfortunately is one of our female competitors, Victoria Kiss, going down, losing the front at turn 3. Rider perfectly okay. So for those of you that are supporting Victoria and the H-Moto team,
Yeah, it looks like he's going to look for a pass here.
And he does indeed, and through to the lead then goes de Grutela. It's not all over yet. We're only on lap 4. There's 6.5 laps to go, and de Grutela responds. And, well, Carl, we were just saying there that Victoria Kiss, one of the female competitors, going down. And a shout out while we can. I know the action on screen is intense as we see Coppola making a huge lunge up the inside, and he makes that one stick. A leading group of 5 then. But it's good to see that the female competitors having a good chance to mix it with the boys, and also featuring in their own championship, of course.
Yeah, I think it's good the fact that Honda have put in the separate category for the females, and yeah, it should get some more girls racing. I think it's good for the sport. And here I thought Oriana had actually run away with this one before the start of the race, but it looks like they're all bunching up behind him, and there's a lot of people actually going faster than him lap by lap. The Coppola is done a really fast lap there, 46.9, and yeah, this looks like it could turn out to be a good last lap. Lunge off somebody.
No, absolutely well spotted. And talking of lunges, there goes Coppola, and that's 2 places in 3 corners. Alfonso Coppola started back on row 3 in 8th position, and he seems to have found some speed from somewhere. It may be the huge Italian crowd that we still have packed into the circuit. Over 32,000 fans queuing to get in this morning from before 8 o'clock when we arrived at the circuit, and they've been trekked to a fantastic day of racing. And it's not over yet, as responding comes Puchedu, and they're leaning on each other. That's Cipretti, and I guess as well, Carl, what we have to think is that out of the top 6, 5 of the riders are Italian, and there's a lot of home pride at stake.
Yeah, there's a lot of home pride. I think they'll know the track pretty well, although the track has just been re-asphalted. Last year it was older asphalt. There was some more bumps in the track, and they've actually made a really good job of it, and the track's a little bit faster, more fun, so you know, it'll be different for the riders.
I have to agree with the comment you made a few moments ago. I thought that Orellana was certainly, after the first 2 laps, making a break, but that is not the case. Mika Perez is also now tucked in. I just got a glimpse there on the screen of the number 8 rider, the young 15-year-old, and he is indeed. And Perez is right on the back of them. This should be a great lap from the young Spaniard. He did a 1:47.2 on the last lap, which was faster than the lap record. So both Perez and Coppola, the fastest 2 riders on the circuit, and they have closed the gap. It's a leading group of 6. Guillaume Raymond, the Frenchman, is losing touch. He's now 2.1 seconds behind the leading group. But the top 6, and as you said, Kyle, we're going to be in for a barnstorming last half of this race.
Yeah, they're all bunching up, and I think Oriana, you would have to say that he's not wanting to make a mistake because he doesn't have to win, although he would like to, I think, close the title here in this round. But he won't be wanting to crash, that's for sure. So I don't know. We'll put my money on for this one.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm not a betting man, so I'm not going to join you on the betting stakes. But a point there that you make, that there are 6 people in the group, and Orellana needs to finish inside the top 5. So it's all well and good taking it easy. If there's a group of 4, you could quite easily just settle back and finish in 4th position and take the title. But if Orellana...
And Mika Perez looks like he's a technical.
I don't know what to say. I mean, again, for those of you that have been following the championship, you have to feel for that young man. He has put it on pole position. He's led races this year. And if that is a technical failure, and I think it was, there's a bike pulling off there at the side of the track. If that is a technical failure, that is the 3rd failure in a row for Mika Perez on the Honda.
Because he had a breakdown as well in Imola as well. So
he did indeed, and we remember watching on that one. And the young rider from Spain will be absolutely distraught. He just set the fastest lap of anybody. He'd set a new lap record of 1:46.941, and there he is, the RBC rider. He puts his hands on his hips, and he's obviously getting a round of applause from the crowd. So the crowd showing their appreciation to Perez, and it comes upon the screen indeed a technical problem. Well, Carl, I mean, it's very, very unusual for these CBR 650s to have a technical problem, and for young Perez to now suffer 3. I mean, that is just bad luck.
Yeah, the very trusty bike. All Hondas are trusty, you have to say, and these bikes, I did some pre-season testing on them for the Junior Cup, and they're really good. The low revving bikes, the really, the not high performance bikes, what got a tendency to break down. So I don't know what the problem is. I think it overheated in Imola, which it were really hot weather, so I don't know what happened there. But he is not too hot. You might have to get a new mechanic.
I mean, there's definitely something going on with that machine, and as I said, we do feel very sorry for the young Spanish rider. One of the nicest guys in the paddock. I mean, we've got a great bunch of young, talented riders throughout the field. As I said, ranging from 14 to 23 if you're a female, 14 to 21 if you are a male competitor, and it's a great breeding ground for the stars of the future. And I guess, Kyle, as well, you had a technical problem today. That's part of racing, and if nothing else, it's going to be character building for the young Spaniard.
Yeah, it's just part of motorsports in general, and you can always have a technical. I had one today, and you just got to regroup and to think of the next one.
Indeed, and thinking of the next one will be Sam Wilford. I know we've got a lot of people watching back in the UK, and he's obviously made a mistake. He's been off the track or something, because his last lap was 7 seconds a lap slower, and Sam Wilford is now locked in a fight with Troy Bezuidenhout and Doran Loureiro for 13th position. So we have a fantastic fight going on. You can't see it on screen, but I want to bring as much of this information to you watching around the world. Riders from 10th down to 15th are locked together. We have Stefan Hill, Josh Harland, Harron Chabuk, Doran Loureiro, Sam Wilford, Troy Bezuidenhout, and just off the back of that is Jamie Van Sickleres. A tremendous fight for the lower leaderboard places, and again, a lot of these riders wanting to break it into the top 10. I know that young Troy Bezuidenhout has been in the points for the last 4 races, only 14 years of age. His target is to get into the top 10. Young Harron Chabuk as well from Turkey. A lot of Turkish supporters and a lot of young talented riders. Oh, we almost had a touch there. That was Coppola, and I think Coppola was a little bit brave there.
And De Groote is going. Is really pushing hard. He just got the fastest lap of that last lap, and his bikes look like we're moving about a lot. Looks like he's pushing hard. I think he wants this one.
Certainly does, and as we said, out of the leading 5, 4 of them are Italian, and how much those youngsters want to stand on the podium. It's always special, Kyle, to stand on the podium. I've never been fortunate to do that at any level, let alone at World Championship, but you know what it's like to stand on the podium, the buzz, the adrenaline, and to do it at home must be a fantastic feeling.
Yeah, I think it's the best feeling ever. I don't think there's any feeling like it, especially at home, so... Hopefully I can do one soon.
Yeah, well, we'd certainly like to see that. And of course, Carl, you've got a lot of fans around the world. And of course, fans can get involved now with the riders in much more dynamic way, as we're getting news on screen that that intense battle for 10th. And there we do see it on the screen. Stefan Hill, unfortunately, has crashed out of 10th position. The young man from the UK, perfectly okay. But as I'm saying there, Carl, social media really has allowed Dorna and the European Junior Cup to really be much more dynamic. A lot of the riders have Twitter, you have Twitter, the Championship has Twitter, of course. You can follow World Superbike at World SBK. You can follow the European Junior Cup as well. For those of you who want to, as there's a leather lunge from Coppola, and he likes that corner, doesn't he? But you can follow the European Junior Cup at Euro Junior Cup, and it's a great way of interacting with the riders. As again, Orellana is over those chevrons, and Kyle... it's a difficult one to call, isn't it? Because I wouldn't say he's gaining an advantage, but he's giving it everything to win the championship by winning the race.
Yeah, the front bunch are definitely pushing, and like you said about the running off track and onto the red. Oh, that were a big lunge there. But Oriana's so confident, and he keeps his line. He's really relaxed.
Absolutely, he is indeed. And
look, he's looking up the inside again.
And that's a good move for
It's a very good move, and looking back up the inside. It's here in turn 6 where the times are being cancelled for here on the exit of this corners. This is where they're being cancelling the times all weekend for run onto the red. The rest of the corners, the organisation have not really said much about. Look at the slipstreams.
And now we go 3 abreast, and these are the leaders. They're coming up on that, pushes him right out one. Now this is when Pachetti's got the back end chattering out there. Sorry to cut you off, Kyle, but this is going to end, well, I don't want to say in tears. Let's hope they all stay on board. We've got a lap and a half to go, and now they've lit the pin. Here we go, 146s. They're lapping in the 146s. The last lap was a 148. It's a group of 5, and it's still now led. No, it's not. Pachetti's in the lead. So Pachetti, he takes a long look over his shoulder. If I was him, I'd just keep looking forward. You don't want to look behind and see 4 riders. Here we go, they're weaving, and this is the fastest part of the track. Coppola goes up into 3rd position. Gruttler, who was leading, now finds himself back in 4th. We go 3 abreast, 4 abreast. Big breath. Kyle, say something, I can't breathe.
Neither can I, I'm just watching the show.
And you've got the best seat in the house with another, he's got it wrong. And, dear me.
He will look there to not skittle anybody out.
I'm not as young as I used to be, and this kind of action is adding ages onto me. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. We are 1 lap away from potentially seeing the crowning of the PATA European champion of 2015. As we start the last lap, there's 1 to go. 4.2 kilometres separate Javier Orellana from the championship. He's won already several times this year. He's never finished lower than the podium, and what a way to win the championship if he can win another race. Pachettu, De Gruttler, Coppola, Cipretti, the top 5 covered by just over 1 second. Then we have a big gap back to Guillaume Raymond, who is in a very lonely 6th position. A solid ride.
Oh, crash there.
He's gone down. And sorry,
down.
I'm too busy looking at the screen, and we have a faller, and it's Matteo Cipretti. He just constantly tries to pick up the bike, and Cipretti, who qualified in 2nd position, will not score points in this race. We're seeing on the screen the riders going past. Everybody now up to 15th has gone past the young Italian, and he is out of it. Bitterly disappointing for the youngster. But here we go then, half a lap to go, and Orellana is in command, as he has been for the entire championship. Pachettu would be a good comeback for Pachettu, nevertheless, Kyle. He was, of course,
it would be a very good comeback.
Put himself in the hospital, and to get back on the podium here at home would delight his crowd. And De Gruttler, the birthday boy, is in 3rd. Seems to have spread the gap. That crash seems to have spread the gap as we come through the fast.
Really close now, and he's got a really good chance of coming up the inside here. Look, he's looking to look.
Oh, and he's looking down, and they've both gone down. He's both gone down.
No way.
And that is unbelievable. And Orellana will not win the championship now, or will he? This will all depend on where it's going to depend on who finishes on the podium. The championship leader is out. The championship leader is down. And as we come to the final corner, Giuseppe De Gruttler, who's celebrating his birthday today, is going to win the first race in his career. Or is he, as we come to the line? And I think he got it. He did. De Gruttler wins his first ever race. Coppola goes 2nd. It's Italy 1 and 2. Raymond is going to finish 3rd. But Javier Orellana will not win the championship today. Instead, he will have to see what happens. Let's have a look. Raymond is 3rd, so no. Orellana will not win the championship, and Orellana is absolutely, well, he's okay, that's a good thing, and he is storming off, and he's getting on. No, he's not happy at all.
And that's a really fast section of the track. Luckily enough, he looks like he's uninjured.
And we have under investigation that incident. We see there Mr. Augusto Fernandez, and they cannot believe it. Young Alex on the phone as well. Ilya Mikulczyk pointing at his head. Well, it is racing. These things can happen, and that is a sad sight that Emanuele Puchedu, we were just saying what a great return it would be for him. And let's have another look. You called it right, Kyle. He had a look. He had a lunge. He got it on the inside, and he was just going way too fast.
It's a difficult section. It's really fast section of the track. And you've got to 100% commit if you want to make a movement there. And I think we're just a little bit too far back and possibly didn't commit just enough. And, it's a tough one to call when they say it's under investigation. And I knocked Ficani off in Donington. And it's hard. It's hard for a rider to knock somebody else off. It wasn't his fault. He just wanted to win.
Absolutely. Well, let's give you a rundown then of the results. They will come up on the screen in a moment, but Giuseppe de Gruttola then takes the win. Alfonso Coppola in second, Guillaume Raymond in third. Paolo Gracia is in fourth position ahead of the Estonian rider Hannes Suma. Frenchman Dorian Leville is in sixth. A great three-way fight for seventh, going the way of Harron Chabuk. Harron Swift, as you call him if you translate the name, and Swift he was seventh position ahead of Josh Harland. Doran Loureiro, birthday boy, in ninth, so both of the birthday boys in the top 10. And in 10th position, we were talking about expectations from the rider and the run of point-scoring finishes for the youngest ever competitor in the championship. Into the blue diving. I know that Bianca, his sister, will be watching back in Malaga. You can get your snorkel equipment out and go for a bit of a paddle. Troy Bezuidenhout in 10th position, just ahead of Jamie van Sikkelrus, who I know has been also practicing on a 600. He finishes 11th. I can only assume some kind of problem for Sam Wilford, the young English rider who was on the podium in Portimao, finishing back in 12th position, just ahead of Thomas Cassano, the Argentinian rider, in 13th. So more points for Cassano. And there is Wilford waving to the crowd. So obviously something happened to him.
Wilford looked really strong at the beginning of the race. Yeah. And he looked like he was really comfortable with the bike. So I don't know if he had to run off the track or something.
Not sure. Let's have a look then at the last 2 point scorers. Temba Kumalo, and again, apologies to Temba. I've been calling him Themba for the entire season, but he did actually point out to me that it's Temba. He finished 14th. And Avalon Biddle, the leading lady. And how about that, ladies and gentlemen? I know that the London family and Will Sport over in New Zealand. How about this? The final overall championship point goes to Avalon Biddle, scoring again in the main championship. And she, of course, now extends the lead in the championship for ladies. A good shout out then for the Greek riders. Number 45 is Dimitris Karakostas, and he finishes 16th, just out of the point. So a great result for him, ahead of Dan Drayton and Nikos Karakostas, his best result of the season. So a nice birthday present there for their mum. Happy birthday to Mrs. Karakostas and both of the Karakostas brothers, 16th and 18th. Laura Rodriguez, female competitor, in 19th. And Anastasia Kovalenko, the third of the lady riders, finishing in 20th position. So 3 ladies in the top 20, Carl. A great result.
Yeah, really good. And, I hope next year they still have the same category for the females. And I've got a little girl coming along, so it's so hopefully it's I can get her racing.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be great. And I'm not sure how you'd fare commentating on your own daughter. You might be a bit too nerve-wracking. But let's just pause and have a look at the delight in the Parc Ferme, and rightly so. The first victory of his European career. And in fact, no, that was actually Coppola. So Coppola are going crazy. So Coppola on the podium, and here comes the winner. And I'm sure we're going to see equal celebrations. There he is. He looks to the sky, punches the air, and delight for the 2 Italians. How about that? And we're getting on the screen no further penalties. No penalties for the crash involving Puchedu and Orellana. And as you said, Kyle, I think you called that right, a racing incident. We can inform spectators watching that off to the medical centre for just customary checks is Emanuele Puchedu, so he will be reviewed by the medical staff.
Because he was actually declared unfit to race in Portimao, wasn't he? Because I think he had the broken collarbone.
He was indeed after the crash at Donington, so they ruled showed him unfit. He was fit here and he was riding great. I mean, you have to give all credit to the young Italian rider. He was riding great, but unfortunately not to be. And there you can see the delight. And to win on your birthday, well, happy birthday. Tanti auguri, Giuseppe De Gruttola, and congratulations to the whole SK and Itaba Honda team. So here we have then 6/1000ths of a second, the victory over his compatriot Alfonso Coppola. Raymond, Gracia, Suma, Leville, Chabuk, Haaland, Loureiro, and for South Africa, Troy Bezuidenhout. Congratulations, young man. You should be very proud indeed of yourself with that result. Jamie van Sickelrus gives the Dutch contingent something to smile about. Sam Wilford. Argentina are in the points with Thomas, Cassano, Kamalo. And how about it for the New Zealand, the Kiwi, Avalon Biddle. And I know that boyfriend Jake Lewis will be delighted with that. And how good is it, Kyle, that we can actually have a championship? Of course, we have the individual points, but some of the young ladies mixing it, and Avalon in the points again overall. Fantastic.
Yeah, Avalon's really fast, and I think she raced the Italian Moto3 Championship last year, and boyfriend Jake Lewis, he races stock 600, and he crashed very hard in Portimao, and I think he broke some bones in his foot, so hopefully he can recover soon. But yeah, I think it's exciting for the girls.
Okay, and we've got Greg Haynes down in the Parc Fermé, so I think he is with our winner. Greg, over to you.
Giuseppe's just going to provide us with some words in Italian for his fans here. A fantastic victory here this afternoon at Misano.
È stata una bellissima gara, è stata combattuta fino alla fine. Mi dispiace per il mio compagno di squadra che purtroppo a 3 curve dalla fine ha avuto un incidente con l'altro pilota. Sono contentissimo, felicissimo. Oggi è il mio compleanno. Non potevo farmi il regalo più bello, sono felicissimo, grazie.
Thank you to Giuseppe. And a quick translation there, my Italian I'm still learning, but a great race until the end, a great result on my birthday, and thanking all of the team as well. So congratulations, and you can see, and his dad's in tears, everybody's crying. I mean, and you would as well, wouldn't you? I mean, what a way to celebrate your 18th birthday with a win.
Yeah, not only a win, I think the race was a very exciting race. It went down to the last lap. And I don't think you were expecting it. I know there was a small incident a pretty big incident actually. Very fast section of the track where it went down. So hopefully Procedur's fit.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, it's been a while since I was at school, but let's have a little look if I can try and work this out mathematically in my head to work out the points standings. Okay, so Orellana heads to Jerez. Of course, the European Junior Cup doesn't go to Laguna Seca or to Sepang, but he heads to Jerez with a 34-point lead, which means that at Jerez, his home round in Spain, if Javier Orellana finishes 7th or higher, he will be the champion. But good to see that he is okay. Commiserations, and again, we hope that he comes back strong and fights to win the title there. But here we are then, the championship standings on the screen, and 34 points. There we go. My maths weren't too bad. I didn't get the best results in maths, but not too bad. It did a 34-point advantage. Gracia on 39, and the only 3 riders then with 50 points left in the championship up for grabs at Jerez and Magny-Cours. The only 3 riders that can win the championship are Orellana, Raymond and Gracia. So the PATA European Junior Cup powered by Honda, the championship will go to Spain, to France or to Italy. And we can see there De Gruttola up to 8th overall in the championship. And we look a little bit further back, and we can see the other point scorers, and Thomas Cassano now inside the top 20, and Mika Perez in 19th position. And I say, Kyle, had it not been for the technical problems that he's had and the disappointment in the last few races, Mika Perez certainly would have been a strong contender in the overall points classification.
Yeah, it's a shame. I think he had the overall fastest lap of the race, and he were in that front group. You know, he's a fast young rider, but racing sometimes won and lost on luck, and he's had a lot of bad luck this season.
He has indeed, and I'm sure he'll come back strong as well. So we're getting a few text messages and Twitter messages coming in from around the world as we look at the podium celebration. So again, congratulations to Avalon Biddle coming from Phil, London over in New Zealand. And again, a lot of Italian messages coming in for the winners. But here we are then. Let's have a look at our podium finishers. Guillaume Raymond from France, Alfonso Coppola, and you can probably hear over the commentary the cheers from the crowd. Giuseppe De Gruttola, first-time winner in the European Championship. And we will see, of course, Avalon Biddle on the podium as well, just on the right-hand side. She receives, and she gets a huge big hug, and rightly so, her third overall victory. A little pinch of the cheek there. That's a bit cheeky,
and that's
it?
Remo. He's the owner of Patty Chips. He's the big sponsor. So
absolutely. But I suppose if the big man from sponsor's going to tweak your cheek, you're going to let him do that, aren't you? I suppose?
Yeah, you would do.
Absolutely. I wonder if she's going to give her a bag of crisps. They're actually quite nice, aren't they? The old
They're really
crisps?
good. Yeah, they're really good.
Really
They're really big bags as well.
They are. They're very good indeed. But
they do a spicy one, which I like.
Oh, really? I've not tried that one. I have to try that at the next round. I'll come round to hospitality and see if we can sort that out at the next one. There is a very delighted Alfonso Coppola, and his dad's still in tears. Let's hope you don't fall off there. Just hope you keep hold of the rail there, young man. Otherwise, you could have a bit of an accident in the pit lane. But here we are then, the winner, and a big round of applause. Pat on the shoulder from Alfonso. He kisses the trophy and punches the air. And absolutely, and Grutela is now 8th overall in the championship, only 10 points behind Suma in 4th. So it's not inconceivable that Giuseppe de Grutela could get into the top 3. The national anthem of Italy. Okay then, so all that is left for me to say, there will be a few highlights coming up then as we finish off the broadcast here. Thank you for watching from wherever you are in the world. Keep watching us, of course. The European Junior Cup has a break now. We'll be back with you in Jerez and then on to Magny-Cours. Kyle Smith, on behalf of everybody involved here, thank you very much for joining us. We wish you all the best fortune when you head off to Sepang.
Right, thanks. Hope I can have a better result than this one.
Well, we certainly wish you all the very best. There we see then on the screen, ladies and gents, the final classification once more. The podium finishes then, and of course the best of our lady competitors, Avalon Biddle. I've been Michael Hill. Thank you very much for watching the PATA European Junior Cup, the Riviera di Rimini round here at Misano. We look forward to welcoming you back to the championship for the penultimate round at Jerez in a few months' time. Thank you all very much. Stay tuned.